Hi guys, welcome back to another ASMR video. Today we are back in my kitchen and I wanted to do a baking video for those of you who requested another one. Also if you didn't request it, I hope you still enjoy this video. Tonight we are going to be making some coffee cake muffins. So I'm excited to get these going. I have made these, I think, once before, and they were really, really good. My daughter's been asking me when I'm going to make some more, so I thought that we could make some together. So let's see. We need some all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, baking powder, cinnamon, baking soda, salt, butter, eggs, sour cream, buttermilk, vanilla extract. So that is all for the muffins. And there's a cinnamon swirl that goes in them. So that is brown sugar, cinnamon, and that's it for that. And then there's a streusel that goes on the top, brown sugar, cinnamon, salt, all-purpose flour, and of course more butter. There is a vanilla glaze that you can top these muffins with, but I'm choosing not to do that just because they're already, I think, sweet enough in my opinion. But if you wanted to do that, that would just take them over the top, I think. Alright, I've got my flour and sugar. I need baking powder, cinnamon, salt, which I keep over here, baking powder, cinnamon, and I think it said vanilla extract. Yes. There's my cinnamon. Okay. Let's bring these back over here. And baking soda, keep in my freezer. Okay. Alright, that looks like all of the dry ingredients. So we'll get those going here. Alright, so 2 cups of flour, and we'll start with that. One cup of granulated sugar. Two and a half teaspoons of baking powder. Right, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm actually going to do the baking soda first before the cinnamon, so I don't have to get cinnamon in my baking soda. Okay, half a teaspoon of baking soda. It's probably about half right there. Half a teaspoon of salt. And now our cinnamon. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Alright, so this is all the dry ingredients. So I'm just going to give this a nice mix really quick. To find my whisk here. Okay, that looks nice and mixed. Alright. Now I'm going to skip ahead and get the ingredients for the cinnamon swirl that goes in the middle of the muffins. So I need a little bowl for that. Alright, so we need a half cup of brown sugar here. I'm just going to use my same cup measurement. And just kind of eyeball it here. There we go. And 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Let me get my tablespoon. There it is. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to grab a fork real quick just to mix this up really good. Just going to break up any of the big pieces of brown sugar. Looks pretty good to me. Alright, so I'll set this aside as well. And let's see, what is the next thing we should work on? I guess I will prepare the streusel. Alright, so I need a 1/3 cup of butter melted. This really quick. Alright, so while I have the butter melting, I'm going to go ahead and get the other ingredients for the streusel ready. So we need another 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And okay, brown sugar, salt, flour, got the butter melting, and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon here. Okay, let me grab the butter. I'm just going to give this a little mix really quick. Which is the consistency that you want it. And I will go ahead and set this aside as well. And before I forget, I'm going to preheat my oven to 425 degrees. Got my oven preheating now, and see, I've got the cinnamon swirl made, the streusel. Now we need to finish the muffins. So I've got all of the dry ingredients right here, and now we need to get the wet ingredients put together. Alright, so half a cup of unsalted butter, 2 eggs. Let me get those really quick. Alright, so I need to melt some more butter. So put this in the microwave so that it can soften. I'm just going to use the same bowl that I used earlier. Alright, while that's going, I'm going to get the rest of my ingredients. Alright, so I need 2 eggs. It says they need to be room temperature, but we're just not gonna worry about that. So I'll wash my hands off really quick. Okay, we need a 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Let me get my 1/4 cup measure. Cup of buttermilk. I make my own buttermilk, in case you're wondering why it's in a mason jar. actually don't have sour cream, so I'm going to be using full fat Greek yogurt that I made. A little stir. Right, so I need half a cup here. I've just got stuff sitting all over my counter, and that's just the way I bake. I have stuff laying out all over the place. Add this to our bowl here. And yes, if you're ever following a recipe that calls for sour cream and you don't have any, you can substitute yogurt, Greek full-fat yogurt for the sour cream, and it'll work just fine. Alright, 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. I'm just gonna eyeball this. And our butter. Just plop that right on in. And I'm just going to whisk this all together here until it's nice and combined. Alright, looks good. Okay, now let's see what we need to do next here. Okay, so we've got our dry mix for the muffins, and we've got our wet ingredients. Add the wet ingredients to the dry, mixing by hand until just incorporated. Okay. So we're going to dump all of our wet ingredients in here. Okay, so if I remember right, this happened to me the last time that I went by this recipe. So as you can see, my dough is really dry, and there's a lot of flour in the bottom that's not really getting incorporated. So I believe what I did was I just added some milk to it. So let me get my milk. And I'm just going to pour some in there. I'm gonna mix again. And hopefully this will get everything moistened enough to where it combines. It's okay if it's a little bit soupy. When you bake it, it'll just be nice and crumbly. Alright, here is my muffin pan. It is definitely well loved, as you can tell. Just going to fill this with some liners really quick. Alright, so we are going to add a layer of the muffin batter. Oops. Just gonna try to eyeball this. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I believe we sprinkle some cinnamon sugar over these. It says a generous amount. Okay, I have quite a bit of that left over. Just put that over here. And now we top with another layer of batter here. These are gonna be so good. I can't wait to eat these in the morning. I like to have muffins on hand a lot of times for breakfast in the morning. Just because a lot of times they're so nice to have because all you've got to do is just heat them up in the microwave. If they're frozen, and then you've just got So it just says to sprinkle this over the top here. And here are our muffins. They are ready to go into the oven. These look so delicious. Alright, so we're going to bake these at 425 for 5 minutes, and then we reduce the heat to 375 and bake for 15 more minutes. So I will see you guys in about 20 minutes. Here they are. They look delicious. Here are our muffins. Not sure what happened, but they kind of expanded. But they will still be delicious, I'm sure. I was kind of expecting them to have a dome top, but that is not what happened at all. Maybe it was because I didn't have some of the ingredients at room temperature. Not sure. But like I said, we will still devour these. These are kind of stuck together. You can see the pretty layer in here where we put the cinnamon sugar filling. Might have to sneak so good, doesn't it? That's good. So, I hope you enjoyed this video tonight, and maybe it inspired you to get into your kitchen and pick something up. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and maybe leave a comment down below and tell me if you've ever had coffee cake